Hello everyone, welcome to my Emmerdale channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. The village of Emmerdale was cloaked in a gray, cold mist that morning, as if the weather itself mourned the tragedy that had struck its heart. Paddy Kirk, usually a man of gentle smiles and kind reassurances, moved through the mist with a heaviness in his chest that even the brightest sunlight couldn't lift. Today, his world had changed forever. Bear, his loyal and ever-spirited dog, the companion who had shared both quiet mornings and chaotic nights, was gone. The news had come suddenly, cruelly, like a storm that rips through your home without warning. A reckless driver, a moment's lapse, and Bear was taken from him. No warning, no time to say goodbye. Paddy's hands trembled as he stood by the grave he had dug himself, the earth cold and unyielding under his fingers. Tears blurred his vision, but it wasn't just grief, it was disbelief. How could this vibrant soul, who had leapt with joy at the sight of a stick or curled up by the fire during stormy nights, be silenced so violently? As the first spadeful of earth fell over Bear's resting place, Paddy's mind replayed every moment: the excited bark when Paddy returned from work, the gentle nuzzle in the quiet of the night, the unwavering companionship that had never wavered, even when life had tested him. Bear had been more than a pet. He had been a heartbeat at his side, a guardian of comfort in a world that sometimes felt too heavy to bear. Chas Dingle, always one to speak before thinking, but whose heart was undeniably pure, placed a comforting hand on Paddy's shoulder. "He knew you loved him, Paddy," she murmured, "and he loved you back, more than you can ever know." Her words, though soft, seemed to slice through the numb fog surrounding him, a bittersweet reminder of the bond that death could never erase. The villagers of Emmerdale, all who had watched Bear bound through the fields, wagging his tail at every familiar face, began to gather. They knew grief when they saw it, and they understood the silent conversations between a man and his dog. It was a bond forged without words, a connection that survived the chaos of the world outside. Paddy sank to his knees beside the grave, hands brushing the soil as if he could still feel Bear's warmth beneath. Memories flooded him, Bear shaking off puddles after a sudden rain, the way he had rested his head on Paddy's knee when the nights were too long, too quiet. The emptiness now was suffocating, a chasm that felt impossible to cross. "Come on, Bear," Paddy whispered through ragged breaths. "Come back to me." He knew Bear wouldn't, but the ritual, the words, were his way of keeping the love alive, even as he felt it slipping through his fingers. As the villagers silently left, leaving Paddy with his grief, the mist seemed to lift slightly, as though nature itself acknowledged the finality of loss. And yet, amid the heartbreak, a quiet resolve began to root in Paddy's heart. Bear's life had been one of joy, loyalty, and love. That love hadn't ended, it had simply changed form. Bear would always be a part of him, in the laughter, in the memories, and in the quiet moments when the world felt too heavy to bear alone. Paddy stood, brushing the tears from his face, and whispered a final goodbye, his voice trembling yet determined. "Rest easy, Bear. You were the best friend anyone could ever hope for, and I'll carry you with me, always." In Emmerdale, the fields were quieter that day, the skies a shade darker, but somewhere in the wind it seemed that Bear's spirit still ran free, tail wagging, heart unbroken, and forever by Paddy's side.